The Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, or SCHD, is once again trading up and to the right, heading closer and closer to the all-time high year range of around $29.62 per share. Now, along with the fact that I don't think SCHD is going to be as cheap as it currently is for much longer, but on top of that, the fact that SCHD does have another dividend ex-dividend date coming just around the corner. I personally have been loading up on even more and more shares, inching closer and closer to 2,400 shares personally across my portfolios. Now in this video, you guessed it, I want to talk about SCHD a little bit more and share with you guys why there might be a massive buying opportunity, but not for long. So if you've been sort of on the fence when it comes to this ETF, you're definitely going to want to stick around. So if you either hold SCHD ETF or have ever thought about it, make sure to drop a like down below, subscribe, and let's get right into it. My A to Z dividend investing ebook has helped countless dividend investors get started with their journey. And my custom dividend tracker that I'm constantly using here on the channel has also helped so many investors stay on track and allow them to see their dividend income in real time. Well, today I have another treat for you guys. I'm not only going to offer you my A to Z dividend investing ebook and the custom dividend tracker, but also just for a short limited time, I'm going to be adding in my brand new weekly dividend blueprint ebook to show you how you can get started with weekly dividend ETFs and add this into your investing strategy. This offer is not going to last long, so go ahead and click the first link down below in my description, and you're going to get both ebooks and the custom dividend tracker bundle. But like I said, please act fast because this won't be around for long. Now let's get back into the video. Now, like I sort of said during the intro, SCHD is inching closer and closer to the $29 range, which is great to see, especially because I hold almost 2,400 shares with an average cost of around $24-25 per share. But honestly, between you and I wish SCHD would stay a little bit cheaper for a little bit longer while I'm currently in my accumulation phase, because buying more and more shares of SCHD and having a starting dividend yield of around 4% is something I want more of. Now, I asked a lot of investors a while back, are we going to see SCHD below $20 per share or above 30? And it's sort of a mixed bag. But over the past several months, SCHD has proven once again its overall strength, and it's climbing closer and closer to the $29 per share range. Now, I came across this article from JR Research, shout out to them. This is on seekingalpha.com. And if you guys want to try out seekingalpha.com for free, go down below to my description. But JR Research said SCHD buying opportunity knocking at the front door again, and they broke it down very nicely, so let's read on. It says SCHD hasn't climbed back to its highs, just like I was saying. Although the S&P 500 recovered to retest recent highs last week, is something amiss. Rising long-term yields and competitive fixed income yields could have played a role here affecting buying sentiment. It then said still SCHD's relatively low PE and sound construction methodology suggests companies under the hood remain high quality. A possible reallocation from growth to value may also be a benefit for SCHD, although Trump's tariffs could impinge on near-term sentiments. So reading on, they say every time I think about the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, a few things come to mind. First, none of the top 10 holdings in SCHD is listed as a top 10 constituent stock within the S&P 500 or SPY, so technology isn't going to be a major theme in the ETF's exposure as compared to what growth-oriented investors may be accustomed to in the S&P 500. They then said secondly, as a total return play that tracks the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index, the methodology focuses on a defined set of dividend quality criteria that determines their exposure in the ETF. I believe these have served investors well over time, and I agree, as more than 85% of SCHD's exposure is assessed to possess at least a narrow moat based on Morningstar's moat classification. Hence, there is little doubt that SCHD's setup and annual reconstitution, which is coming up very soon here, should help its investors stay on track and not veer off with stocks that don't meet the funds. In other words, I believe that SCHD has demonstrated its worth to be at least considered a possible supplementary holding for investors interested in making dividends one of their core plays in their portfolio. Now, the great thing about this methodology is that every year, more or less, a lot of the junk stocks exit the fund and a lot of good new ones enter it. They then said, however, the allure of its dividend yield has come under pressure again lately as the 10-year yield, the US 10-year, has staged a remarkable resurgence since it bottomed out in September last year. As seen in the chart above, not only has the 10-year gained traction, it appears to have returned with an upward bias, suggesting the market has likely anticipated higher long-term yields compared to the levels in Q3 of last year. This has also taken a toll on SCHD's buying momentum, while the pullback of less than 10% of the ETF's November 2024 highs is by no means a disastrous outcome. The fact that buyers have not flooded into SCHD, while the S&P retested its highs last week, shows the dilemma of income or dividend investors reassessing their options, notwithstanding the appeal of SCHD's high-quality dividend yield of about 3.6% on a trailing 12-month basis. They then said, let me be clear here, I don't believe that the structural methodology of SCHD is at fault here given the clear criteria it's tracking the index's stock selection process. Therefore, I assess that all the relative appeal of potentially higher long-term rates have played a pivotal role in lowering the appeal for the ETF, basically saying that while rates are high and juicy, SCHD's yield around 3.6% isn't looked upon as much of a buying opportunity. They then said, I believe it's crucial for us to note that the ETF isn't aggressively valued. Based at a PE of 13.7x, it remains far below the S&P 500's 22.24 PE. Moreover, the top 10 holdings in SCHD suggest its focus isn't so much about chasing the latest tech innovations, whether it's AI, GPUs, iPhones, etc., but more on making sure these companies continue to deliver consistent, robust operating performances, all while of course fulfilling the dividend growth rate criteria. They lastly said, I don't think it's rocket science for us to recognize that the trend bias for SCHD remains to the upside and not the downside, meaning that there's more upside than downside here. While pullbacks have afflicted SCHD several times since September 2023, the outcome has consistently been resolved to the upside. Therefore, the series of higher lows and higher highs in SCHD's price action is consistent with buyers confident about the ETF's performance, although near-term caution over the impact of everything going on is still important. Hence, I believe the opportunity to invest in high-quality and proven ETF like SCHD is appropriate even as we navigate these challenges, coupled with the bifurcation of its valuation relative to the SPY. Now, I do think there's also going to be a massive inflow of investors trying to pile on as fast as possible, and this is all before the Q1 ex-dividend date that SCHD has next month in March. So for me personally, I'm still stacking as many shares as possible of SCHD, trying to inch closer and closer to 2,400 shares, especially before ex-dividend date. Now, lastly, before I go, I do want to share this tweet. This is from SCHD Stan Craig on Twitter or at SCHD ETF. He did the Q1 dividend payout estimate, and this is for 2025 Q1. Listen in. His estimate was 31% increase from Q1 2024, 26.85 cents per share. He said if this is accurate, this would mark a 31.8% year-over-year increase and a 6.5% rolling 12-month average increase. This will bring SCHD's total annual payout to around $1 and almost 6 cents per share, resulting in a 3.8% yield at today's opening as of a few days ago. Now, if we were to get lucky enough to see SCHD announce a large dividend increase like the one SCHD Stan estimated, this could change everything for us as investors and really increase our total income annually, which is exactly partially at least why I hold on to the fund. Now, lastly, before I go, I do have one last question for you guys down below. Do you currently think SCHD is offering a buying opportunity? Are you grabbing more shares before ex-dividend dates? And what's your estimated guess when it comes to the next dividend? Let me know everything in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.